welcome to Inside talkSPORT, sponsored by BetMGM. I'm Harry Durham. In the next 25 minutes, we'll be breaking down the biggest sporting talking points of the week. At the end of the show, we'll put it all together as we build our Inside ACCA. Don't forget, you can download the app or visit betmgm.co.uk, 18 plus, gambleaware.org. Please gamble responsibly. Joining us today, we've got CJ, the Deluded Gooner, presenter and DJ for Spurs women, Jess Izat, and broadcaster and Newcastle fan, Jack Cunningham. Right, CJ, we kick off with this every single week. This is twice that you've been on the show now, mate. I mean, I love kicking off with Arsenal every single week. Have you put the title race into Manchester City's hands?
We're trying our best to make that a case, Harry, if I'm completely honest with you, man. I mean, last time I checked, we're still top. The Sharks are circling. Obviously, you know, we have to go into the weekend knowing nothing less than 3 points will do. We have to assume City will beat Newcastle. Of course, I hope Newcastle do us a favour. It's like Pac-Man. If anyone has played the game Pac-Man, you're on your last life. You cannot afford to get caught. We've got it all to do. And I'm sure we're going to get into it about this whole bottling tag. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, until the players prove you lot wrong, you lot are right, innit? So let's get on with it.
Piers Morgan was on talkSPORT Breakfast, I think it was yesterday, and he still believes that Arsenal can win the quad.
I mean, we're still in every competition, innit? I wouldn't go that far. I think, you know, we've got a final at Wembley. We're still in a title race. The FA Cup is the FA Cup. I want the Champions League, but you have to play that by ear. I mean, we're still in every comp. I mean, I'm going to have to back Piers because he's an Arsenal fan, but I can't share that sentiment, man.
Yeah, for me...
Crazy. Go on, Jack.
For me, I'm confused at what Arteta's doing.
What do you mean?
Okay, so Wolves game, 2-0 up, right? Victor Gyökeres isn't having his best game, but what he does do is he stretches defences. He runs in behind, and at 2-0 up, I'm pretty sure Gabriel would have appreciated someone to run on the end of, if I'm just going to dink it in the corner, he's going to chase after it. He brings Gabriel Jesus on, who's just coming to feet the whole time, and it sort of condensed the pitch, and I thought it made it Wolves, it allowed them to push up.
Allowed them to gamble.
And then Arsenal... I don't know what happened, but it just seemed like it started making silly mistakes, and you could see that because there wasn't a guy to stretch the pitch, like, Wolves felt, all right, OK, we're potentially in this. I know they scored very soon after you made it 2-0 as well, so that, of course,
which has been a current theme as well.
Yeah.
Do you think you not run out of ideas a little bit? Because that's what I feel like I've been noticing over the course of the season sometimes with your mob.
What do you mean by running out of ideas? Well, you talking about Arteta's tactics?
Isn't the idea set piece, though?
No, because you look at how many goals we've scored from open play. We've scored more than you. Like, I don't know what we're talking about. In relation to ideas...
Is it not the least in the league?
No, it's not the least. In relation to being out of ideas and things like that, naturally, Harry, I mean, I said it when I was here last time, you know, we've done quite well from August up until this point, ticking along. But I have sat here and wondered, when is it going to go up the gears? Individually for all of these players, mainly in attack, kind of what you're speaking about. We all know our bread and butter has been defensively. And in terms of Mikel Arteta, there's not been anything different, like on the eye test for the novice football fan. We've shown an inability to pivot. At this moment in time, I think we've got, 21 points dropped from winning positions. That is unacceptable if you want to go and win the league title. So we've hit a bit of a rut. And as I said, you're kind of like last chance saloon. You've left the door open and open and open for Manchester City. And I think when City look back, if they do win this league, God forbid, they'll obviously look at how they got 3 points at Anfield as a kind of turning point. For us, we just have to block out the noise. We have to assume they're going to win every game. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. We need to win in the North London derby. To be honest with you, my team always turn up in North London derbies. I know we can run banter, but I'm not really scared in the North London derby. It's the Chelsea's, it's the Brighton. No, we're going to handle it. No.
Did you say they always turn up?
We always turn up in the North London derby. When last did you beat us?
2021, 22.
21, 20.
Yeah, that season.
Are we in 2026?
Where we won 3-0.
2026. 4 years ago.
I know.
You probably got a DVD about that.
Look, we've got the new manager bounce, OK?
New manager bounce. Tell me about your manager.
Igor Tudor.
Do you really know about him, or did you just have a quick Wikipedia search?
I think we've all just had a quick Wikipedia search. To be honest, I didn't know about him before he came through. But his whole thing is coming in, dropping his little fairy dust. Wasn't that his nickname?
Well, it's Chagitatore
I like the accent.
in Italy.
I wasn't going to try
Hopefully no Italians have been offended by that. Chagitatore, which means ferryman. And Daniele Fisichella, who's a Italian journalist, always comes on talkSPORT as well, said he's like the Winston Wolfe from Pulp Fiction. So when if you guys have seen Pulp Fiction, I know you people at home would have as well. Winston Wolfe, when you're in a spot of bother in Pulp Fiction, he pulls out all the stops. And when you think you're in a position where you literally can't get out of, like you're saying, shark circling, he gets you out of it.
But that's a speciality.
That's it. That is a
It's for a
speciality.
good time,
It's
not a
meant
long
to be.
time.
Are you scared about a new
Good times
manager's
are never
bounce,
Spurs.
though?
No, not really.
Because
Not when
it is
comes
such
to-
a thing. It doesn't matter if it's
The
the
only
Premier
things
League
that
or
the
just
only
world
things that
football.
would scare me in relation to Spurs or this new manager bounce isn't the fact that they've got a new manager. They've had 12 days to prepare. Obviously, where Spurs are at, you're fighting. You're not going to get relegated, but you're fighting relegation. You've been quite poor. They need to go back to basics. He's had 12 days to get these boys in, kind of see where their headspace is at, and
Gavin
kind of.
Simmons famously saying no to a 5-day holiday. So
Yeah,
that
even stuff
you
like
can prepare.
that. Yeah, so it's kind of it's the
commitment,
it's the
though, no?
preparation
Yeah, that is
more than a
commitment.
potential new manager bounce. Now, obviously, there's an element of the unknown. You go and look at Igor Tudor. He's played a back four. He's played a back three. He is known as a bit of a firefighter. I think statistically, he's a bit of a short-term manager, something like 38 to 48 games. So naturally, it's the element of the unknown. Thomas Frank, we've kind of got his number. So apart from that, I'm not really scared. The players will rise to the occasion.
Apart from all of those things that you've just said.
No, that's just common sense looking at you. Like
Lil Van der Ven, turnover,
Who?
straight through the middle.
Who?
Yeah?
Who?
Man like
We'll
Mickey
show
Mouse.
you on Sunday.
Okay, listen,
Just
bookmark
how are you
this.
feeling coming into this as well? Because Arsenal's record has been decent at
Yes.
your place. I mean, everyone's record.
Got 99
Everyone's
pounds.
record
Tottenham
against
Hotspur Stadium, which is pretty decent. But how are you feeling coming into this one? Because I think it's 3 years since the last time you beat Arsenal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Look, in the Spurs camp, I can't lie, there's been few and far between joys on our pitch. Again, I'm going to say new manager bounce is a thing.
What do you mean? Drawing, beating us, what?
In my heart, Eze on the bench and us
The eyes
with
don't lie.
a few
Go on.
Did you fully reckon?
But then-
Do you believe you're actually going to derail Arsenal's season? It's always taken a bit of a hiccup at Wolves in the week, but do you think that you could potentially? It's a long way to go. But potential icing before the cherry.
Look, a wise man once said, don't argue with a Gooner, just wait.
I think
Okay.
Who said that?
there'll be renewed energy. There'll be renewed energy in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Definitely.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, it's been a grim place for Spurs to play football this season. 2 home wins in the Premier League is shocking.
Well, we've all seen
for
that
a team
recent
who are a
Ange
Big
interview.
Six club.
We've all
Yeah.
seen that recent Ange interview, and the main issue is we've had manager after manager after manager after manager, and the main issue is the attitude. So if we can switch that around, like we've got,
And that
we
you're
do
not a
have,
big club. Let's not forget that from us,
Big club.
we've got European.
Yeah, he
do
actually put the club
Got
in the
mine.
ground.
We
a
literally
little
do.
bit.
I can't tell you. Where's your prem? Put your prem on the table.
If it was a
last
buried
trophy
life
that you
match
won,
in
Put your prem on the
WWE.
table.
Yeah, was a few years ago, and you had no one in the stadium.
know it's rude to
all
ask you, yeah,
because
how
there was
old
no
are you?
one watching,
How
and
old
you
are you?
celebrated in your bus.
How old are you?
You can't ask a woman.
I have
34.
to-
I'm 34 years
I'm 30. I've seen my team win the league on your ground. I don't really want to get into history statistics, please. In my lifetime, you've won 2 trophies, but we're not doing that. We're talking about looking
But what
forward.
about, okay, so
Are you
you're
not
saying
final
that
this
I
weekend?
can't say
No, you
about
can.
a game a few years
No,
ago.
you can, but you
you're
tried
allowed
to
say
you
it
tried to run the
in our
history. You tried to
lifetime.
run the history
Look,
narrative. I just had to remind you. Your manager said you're not.
Last time you won a trophy was an FA
This
Cup
same
trophy,
manager you're
and
talking.
no one was
this-
watching.
Of
No
course,
one
you was
was
watching if you
watching.
know about it. This
You
same
were watching from your live stream
This same
and
manager that
sipping your
you're
beer at
this
home.
same manager that you're
Okay.
talking about on the Oval
Who
that
did you
said you're
cheers?
not a big club.
person
Allow
that you were
it. The
isolating
same
with.
manager
All
that
right.
you are doing the most for said you're not a big club. But less of that. Let's focus on this derby.
Yeah.
We've got 99 problems. Them lot are not one of those. Let's
No.
have
I
that
think the
right.
cracks, I think you're nibbling, mate.
Of course I'm nibbling. It's a banter show. We're having a bit of a song and a dance, aren't
It's
we?
a weird one with
What are we
this
doing
one
here?
because for the neutral, I mean, I think you're only happy unless you're like a closet Arsenal fan if Spurs, pick up 3 points or pick up a draw as well. I don't think any neutral, and Jack, I want to get your opinion on this. With you being a Newcastle fan, me being a Fulham fan, I mean, we'll come on to your game in a minute, but where do you stand as a neutral coming into this North London derby? Surely you don't want Arsenal and Arsenal fans to have any more glory.
I want it to be a good game, to be fair, and I think it will be, actually, because I do think that Igor Tudor has got a reputation of coming in and winning early on when he takes over as an interim manager. I think the energy in the stadium will be there. He plays quite aggressive football. It's a bit like Conte. He's been described as Conte in a lot of ways, and usually plays a back three.
So he doesn't want to sit back as well.
So, and I think they'll come out and they'll be aggressive. And I think Arsenal, what we're seeing from Arsenal at the moment is clearly the pressure's getting to them. The pressure's getting to them.
Incompetence.
Yeah. It's 2 wins out of 7, I think it is, in the Premier League. That is, if you're going to win the Premier League coming into this stage of the season, I don't think that's good enough. And I think a lot of it, for me, actually comes down to Arteta. And a lot of it, I think, he's not using the players he's got at his disposal properly. I think
not doing anything different.
Kai Havertz's been injured is a massive issue as well,
Yeah,
because the
he's-
two
he's
games they
walking
won.
sick note. Like,
But
whenever he's back for 1 week, he's out for then another.
Well, the two
Ran him
games
into
they
the
won,
ground.
the 2 games they won comfortably, he played.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
and they won.
Yeah, but you can't get longevity out of him.
No,
That's
I know.
what I'm trying to say.
That's exactly.
Ran him into the ground.
So that is a
Arteta
problem.
ran him into the
So,
ground.
and then Eze, very, very odd. 4 goals this season, hat-trick in the North London derby. So I think already a cult hero just for that. But overall, it's not happening for him.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he's getting lost in the middle of the pitch. I would think that they're going to get the most out of him if they're moving to the left-hand side, right? Because Martinelli and Trossard are not it. Martinelli has not been it for a while. He's just like a Brazilian road runner.
He's a super sub, and this is the problem.
Yeah.
When Martinelli starts, it's like a deer in the headlights. Like,
Exactly.
he actually, our last game against Wolves, first half an hour, somewhat decent. Other than that, it was completely horrible. And that's where I agree with you. It's like Mikel Arteta at times, it feels like he has to be forced to change things. You mentioned Kai Havertz. I'm not a fan of Kai Havertz in midfield, but purely because of this season and what we're in, Kai Havertz and Gyökeres, we was getting a tune out of them.
Yeah.
Ironically, I did like Saka within the 10, but it
Yeah.
does feel like the manager... He doesn't really want to deviate away from his framework. And I said it the last time I was here. It's like, we've been a good team. If we want to be a great team has to do things they haven't done before. That goes for the gaffer, that goes for the players. So when you mix in the manager's inability at the moment or reluctance to change, the players not really checking their temperature. I mean, it's cliche, but we sit here and say every game's a difficult game. Cool, there's no excuses for going 2 goals up against Wolves and actually not winning, guys.
Well, if you think about what game plan has to be on Sunday, it has to be handbrake off, surely. You can't.
Box smart.
I honestly, I know points a point. 3 points, obviously, the best is a win. But
Box smart.
it has to be handbrake off, surely.
We just need 3 points, box smart. I want Spurs to come out and be bullish. Rightly so. They've got a new manager. Their stadium's probably going to be buzzing. They wanted Frank out. I want them to come and make it a fight. One thing we've been praying for as Arsenal fans is for teams to open up. The now issue is, going back to Wolves, is game management. That's where I move it on away from Mikel Arteta and the players. You're the ones out there. I'm quite frankly getting sick and tired of
You put
us.
more blame on for the Wolves game.
No, they're both. Everybody's in it.
You think it was equal, yeah?
No. Both of everybody's in it. Mikel Arteta cannot be alleviated from any kind of smoke for that. Again, you could see it. You could see you've ran Timber into the ground. You could see the issues with Zubamendi. You mentioned Martinelli. I make you
I mean,
right.
Saka's limping every 5 minutes.
Saka's come back from an injury, and Saka even played 45 minutes against Wigan. He definitely needed to come off a lot sooner. So that's where I make...
But are these your excuses for the Wolves game?
No, this is genuinely what happened. I just said there's no excuses. We went 2 goals up against the bottom team, and actually we struggled against them. We kind of had the similar talking points at the Emirates.
So do you think it's down to Arteta's game management in a way?
The whole team's game management. The whole team's game management. Mikel Arteta needed to be proactive. The players are the ones out there. They're all street smart. They're all old enough and ugly enough and experienced enough to know you've gone 2-0 up in the Premier League. As cliche as it is, nothing's given. Every game's a cup final. You need to go and win. You've gone 2 goals up and you've drawn. That's unacceptable. You look at the goal conceded, both goals conceded, and the overall temperature, taking the sting out of games, having an indifferent first half, starting the second half and being decent. And I genuinely feel, if you've been watching Arsenal, there's frustrations with the Wolves game, but you're kind of watching the same old story. Like, we've seen that, especially away from home. That happened against Sunderland, that happened against Aston Villa, that actually kind of happened in the Liverpool game where Szoboszlai scored the screamer. So it needs to be less... We just need to be a bit more... have an ability to pivot.
Is it an obsession over control?
100%.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so when I think about Arsenal a couple of seasons ago, they were brilliant to watch.
Yeah.
Really, really fun to watch.
They're
Really, really
like, if you think
entertaining.
about 20 years ago, they
Was
were
it
really nice on the eye.
win 16 out of 18 at the end of the season?
Yeah.
That was 23, 24, so probably the season after we had that exciting football.
So,
Yeah, 23, 24
change.
when it was going to Anfield and it was the 2-2 and you went to West Ham. Was that the season before?
No, that was the season before.
I think that was one of your best. That was one of
but
the
everybody looks
greatest
at that with
opportunities.
rose tints, and that's
it was
where I'm not-
sexy football then.
It was sexy, but everybody, especially Arsenal fans, look at it with rose tints. Yes, we played great football. I think that was Zinchenko and Jesus' first year. It was exciting.
Yeah.
Excitement doesn't necessarily win trophies. What people forget is, like, if we blitzed the team in the first half, the second half was on knife edge. You saw Ramsdale probably on Match of the Day, week in, week out, making great
Sorry,
saves.
man, I want to see Ramsdale every week now.
Yeah.
I don't actually because Pope's in goal.
Yeah, exactly. Thank the Lord. So, like, as I was saying, that's not an issue, innit? Like, we needed to be better defensively. It brings us into the 23-24 season, which you obviously referred to, where Kai Havertz and whatnot ran it to the last day of the season. My thing is this. Arteta has shown me he's played attacking football. He's shown me he can do it. There's just a reluctance to do it, which is what you're saying, controlling. And when you're trying to control everything, you're going to control very little. Really.
That's what
you
I
need
think.
to evolve in that regards.
I think it's almost like safety first a lot of the time. And I think it is
That's
just
not
that
wrong. He
obsession.
needs to pivot.
That's definitely what you
exactly.
saw at the Wolves game.
It is just that obsession with he wants to, and that's why. By the way, that's why he's made Arsenal so good.
That's why
by
you've
the
got
way.
us to this point. But to go
exactly.
over the line,
But now
something
it's
else.
like you're at the point where sometimes you maybe just got to trust the players on the pitch to actually like do what they like. Again, I think Ez is the perfect example. I just don't think he's being played freely.
No.
I'm not going to necessarily go on down the Jack Grealish comparison yet, but I will do eventually. But it feels like he's been shackled a little bit, and I do think genuinely Arsenal would become an unbelievable team if they move him out on the left-hand side, like Crystal Palace played him.
Yeah.
Because their left-hand side, I mean, I'm sorry, would you not have Anthony Gordon and Harvey Barnes over Trossard and Martinelli?
They're all media, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, but if Harvey
Barnes can stay fit, then yes.
Yeah, that's why I'm at that level of like, I look at Newcastle's left wingers, I would take both of them over Arsenal's left wingers.
If Harvey Barnes, we'll come on to Newcastle now, actually. So you've actually segued me quite nice, Jack.
There you go, son.
Yeah, only have to do half of my job this week. We think about Harvey Barnes as well.
Yeah.
And obviously his links to Scotland.
Yeah.
And if Harvey Barnes could stay fit, Harvey Barnes would be one of the players that could easily start for England if his fitness levels were up to scratch at Newcastle. Jack, we're talking about the title race, and I think sort of elephant in the room that we've not addressed so far in the show is that you go to Manchester City tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, the Etihad. Where are you standing as a Newcastle fan right now? Is it one of those situations where, because a couple of weeks ago, pressure was somewhat put on Eddie Howe, a lot of Newcastle fans that are unhappy. You've gone to Karabakh, you've won 6-0. Kieran Trippier and Anthony Gordon have had a little bit of a scrap over a penalty. Penalty gate, people were calling it. It was in Azerbaijan, we forgot about it. Where you're standing right now, and obviously, what is it, 10th in the league at the moment?
10th in the league,
and your main battle, your main battle now is whether you're going to finish above Sunderland or not. But that's a story for a different day. Would you be happy if you picked up all 3 points, or are you happy with a case of City picking up 3 points just to put pressure on Arsenal?
No, obviously there's that, but as a Newcastle fan, I don't care about it really. I care about winning 3 points.
I've ever sat here with. Thank you. Concerned about Newcastle.
I care about winning 3 points. Like ultimately, what I will say, CG, unfortunately, Newcastle's record at the Etihad is truly horrendous. We have never won.
Join the club. I know how it feels.
We have never won there in the Premier League.
At the Sports Bar this week on talkSPORT, Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant, the big debate. John Terry versus Virgil van Dijk. Who's better?
Really, really interesting. Now, I did have a look at the stats. So, Terry, 492 appearances, 41 goals in the Premier League. Van Dijk's on 27 goals. So, the big difference for one in terms of appearances. Premier League titles, Terry won 5. He actually was involved in 4. I mean, the 5th one was under Conte, played 9 games. I'm not really going to count that one. But one thing, again, Terry won at 34, where he played every minute of every game. Van Dijk last season only missed 1 game. It's very, honestly, like, in terms of the statistics, it's really, really hard to tell. I'd probably just go for Terry. Because he was part of the best defence we've ever seen. That Chelsea side.
As well,
I mean, a team that concedes 15 goals in a season is a joke.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And he was a part of that. Like, we'll talk about Arsenal. In fact, at the start of the season, everyone was saying that, Arsenal are going to break the 50. But it shows you it's actually impossible. You
can't do
that. That along with the Invincibles, is the best achievement in Premier League history.
Could that Chelsea side do that in the present day then?
That's a fair point. That's fair.
Could they? Because I take nothing away from their
different.
record. It's amazing, but like, it surely couldn't happen in the present day.
Well, I think, if you think of the Premier League now, like, I think the bottom teams... I watched last night in Nottingham Forest, went to Fenerbahce, battered them. Look where Forest are in the Premier League. They battered them. Yeah. The Premier League is now at a level where all of the teams could probably go into most European leagues and win comfortably most games.
What are the like resources like for those bottom teams now compared to they were then? Because I feel like that surely contributes, especially
Bournemouth are spending more than AC Milan. You're right.
Would they be able to deal with the style of play as well, Jack? Do you reckon? Do you reckon they'll be able to deal with the style of play currently right now? We know that John Terry and Cavani could both ping a long ball. You're looking at Van Dijk as well, but Van Dijk could do that. But in the sense of the high press nature of the game right now, and the ball has
Terry did
played
like
more
a
of the
highlight.
brain and the feet as well. But if you watch back,
Interesting, Terry had playing Brentford.
It'd be great at us as well.
it always
Yeah,
just,
Arsenal.
it
Yeah,
always
yeah.
just surrounds on Twitter. It was like Arsenal versus Chelsea in like 2005, and it's constantly just like long ball and heading it back and forwards. There's no, the ball isn't on the floor at any point during the game. So do you reckon that they had actually? Because John Terry wasn't the quickest player of all time. But would John Terry be able to do the pace of the game now, do you reckon?
It's difficult because then you could flip the question and say, obviously, you got away with a lot less back then with strikers. Could Van Dijk cope with that kind of thing? I'm of the belief, like, if you're a great player now, you genuinely could have played then. If you was a great player then, you can play now. You've still got all of that kind of stuff. It's a horrible question,
It is,
man.
yeah.
It's a
'Cause
horrible
I think
one.
strikers were probably better then when Terry's playing.
100%.
Terry's playing against some of the best
Serious
strikers
guys.
we've ever seen. I think the striker quality in the Premier League now is not at the level it was.
No.
One thing I'll always never have Van Dijk go for is that thing not being dribbled past nonsense.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
last season I watched Alexander Isak push the ball past him and smash it in the top corner. Oh, it's not dribbled past though. Well, he just beat him in and blasted it in the top
Pointless stats,
corner.
man.
That is absolute nonsense. I think Van Dijk's having a drop off this season, but it's going to happen. But I think when you look back on it, when he retires, when he leaves Liverpool,
He's a
he
legend.
will be one of the best centre-backs we've ever seen in the Premier League.
is, he
Before we get your accas, quickly, Terry?
What? Yeah, Terry just.
I'm going to say right now, who I'd have in my team.
Both
I'm
at their
going to
prime.
say Van
who's
Dijk
better?
because I just feel like the game is so different now. And if I'm watching a game and I want someone in my team, I want someone who is that calm, cool, collected, sexy player that I want to look at.
Sexy player. What are you
Player
want to look
on the ball.
at? Oh, so we're not talking about silky
No,
skills.
I'm not. I'm talking about his skills.
He's nicer on the eye than
He's
JT.